The mask of friendship, unmasking exploitative relationships, and embracing authentic connection. Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal, that uniquely devastating pain inflicted by someone you believe to be a true friend, leaving you adrift in a sea of confusion and doubt, unsure of how to navigate the treacherous waters of interpersonal relationships? The realization that not everyone who smiles at you has your best interests at heart is a difficult pill to swallow, a harsh truth that can shake the very foundations of your trust in humanity. Sometimes, people don a mask of friendship, concealing their true intentions, for the sole purpose of taking advantage of you, exploiting your kindness, empathy, and generosity for their own selfish gain. This is a complex and often heartbreaking reality, one that requires us to be vigilant, discerning, and ultimately willing to distance ourselves from those who would seek to harm us. Today, we embark on a journey to explore this complicated topic, shedding light on 7 telltale signs that someone is exploiting your friendship instead of valuing it for the genuine connection it should be. We propose to open your eyes to the harsh truth of false relationships, guiding you in recognizing and distancing yourself from these harmful connections, empowering you to prioritize your well-being and surround yourself with authentic people who uplift, support, and cherish you for who you are. After all, your emotional and mental health is essential, and it is crucial to cultivate a circle of genuine friends who contribute positively to your life, fostering mutual respect, trust, and unwavering support. The first warning sign, and perhaps the most insidious, is the presence of persistent guilt and manipulation. Reflect on times when you have been subtly or overtly pressured into doing things you didn't want to do, guilt-tripped with phrases like, "How could you do this if you really cared about me?" Or, "I've done so much for you, and you can't even do this one small thing for me." These expressions are not simply harmless words or innocent requests. They're carefully crafted emotional weapons, designed to force you to take actions against your will, constituting manipulation in its most extreme form. This calculated display of apparent concern and obligation is like a skillfully crafted mask, concealing the true intention behind the words, to control your behavior and exploit your emotional vulnerabilities. Now, it is crucial to ask yourself why your kindness should be used against you, why your empathy becomes a weapon in the hands of another person. This phenomenon goes beyond simply being pushed into uncomfortable situations or asked to do favors you'd rather avoid. It implies that someone is intentionally undermining your self-esteem, questioning your judgments, and sowing seeds of doubt about your own feelings and perceptions. This emotional poison works slowly and subtly, eroding your confidence, leaving you feeling helpless, obligated, and unsure of yourself. However, recognizing this emotional game is the first and most crucial step towards freeing yourself from its insidious grip. It's about understanding that your feelings matter, that your knowledge and opinions have inherent value, and that you have the right to say no without feeling guilty or obligated. It's about recognizing that in an environment of healthy relationships, respect, trust, and mutual understanding are the flowers that bloom, not blame, guilt, and manipulation. So, how do you deal with these manipulative situations? Do you continue to give in until you reach your breaking point, sacrificing your own well-being for the sake of appeasing someone else? Or do you stand firm, reclaiming your right to choose how to feel, how to act, and how to allocate your time and energy? Standing up to these manipulative tactics is not only an act of rebellion against emotional abuse, but also a powerful act of self-love. It's about saying, "I'm more than just someone's emotional punching bag. I deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. I'm not responsible for managing your feelings or fulfilling your every demand." By facing this harsh reality head-on, you are not only protecting your emotional well-being, but also beginning a transformative journey towards healthier, more satisfying relationships. Relationships based on mutual respect, genuine connection, and unwavering support. Although the path may not be easy, filled with uncomfortable conversations and the potential for conflict, it points towards a place where your emotions are respected rather than exploited, where your boundaries are honored rather than violated, and where you are valued for who you are, not for what you can give. After all, isn't that what we all deserve? To be loved, cherished, and respected for the authentic selves we are, without being manipulated or controlled. The second significant warning sign of an exploitative friendship, aptly termed selective availability, highlights the natural rhythm present in every healthy relationship, a continuous exchange of support, empathy, and mutual assistance that maintains harmony and fosters a sense of reciprocity. However, what happens when this delicate dance becomes one-sided? When you're always present, willing to give your support, your time, and your energy without hesitation, but when you're the one who seeks to reach out, you only receive a cold, echoing silence in return. Reflect on the times when you've been a pillar of support in countless situations, offering your help without hesitation, listening with empathy, and providing practical assistance whenever needed. Your phone rings, and it's them again, needing advice, asking for a favor, or simply seeking someone to listen to their woes. You respond, as you always do, patiently lending an ear, offering helpful suggestions, and going out of your way to provide whatever support they need. But when you find yourself in need of support, when the weight of the world suddenly falls on your shoulders, when you're grappling with a personal crisis or simply need a friend to lean on, where are they? Your messages float aimlessly in the digital void, unanswered and unacknowledged. Your calls go straight to voicemail, ignored and unreturned. And if they happen to answer, there's a quick change in the conversation, a subtle but noticeable deviation from your needs, a deflection that leave you feeling dismissed and unimportant. This imbalance, this selective availability, is a glaring red flag that screams a hard truth. You are there for them, consistently and reliably, but they're not there for you, not when you truly need them. It is undeniably difficult to accept that your care and concern flow predominantly in one direction, with little or no return. It's not simply a lack of consideration or a matter of being busy. It is a deliberate ignorance of your feelings and your needs, a blatant disregard for the principles of reciprocity that underpin any healthy relationship. The scales are demonstrably tipped in their favor, and your efforts, your empathy, and your precious time seem to be taken for granted, viewed as an entitlement rather than a valued offering. This realization marks a crucial moment of introspection, a time to pause and carefully assess the dynamics of the relationship. Are you truly engaged in a mutually supportive partnership that nourishes both individuals, fostering a sense of connection, trust, and shared growth? Or are you simply a convenience, a stopgap for someone else's needs, a readily available resource to be tapped whenever they require assistance, without any reciprocal consideration for your own well-being? It's time to look in the mirror, to confront the difficult questions, and to honestly evaluate your own role in perpetuating this imbalance. To what extent are you willing to continue giving without receiving the same level of care and support in return? Where do you draw the line? This isn't just about the other person's behavior. It's about you, your self-esteem, your boundaries, and your willingness to accept less than you deserve. It is time to decide if you are being valued as you deserve, if the scales can be balanced through open communication and a willingness to change, or if it is time to take a step back, to reassess your priorities, and to find a rhythm in your relationships that respects both the act of giving and the equally important act of receiving. The third warning sign, persistent disrespect, highlights a subtle but powerful signal that is often overlooked or minimized in the complex dance of human connections. Imagine a relationship where your value is consistently undervalued, where your time, your emotions, and your opinions are taken for granted, dismissed, or outright ignored. Isn't it shocking, not to mention incredibly hurtful, when someone consistently cancels plans at the last minute, shows up chronically late, or worse yet, doesn't bother to show up at all, offering a flimsy excuse or no explanation whatsoever? This habitual indifference, this blatant putting aside of your needs, is not simply rude or inconsiderate. It is a clear sign of a fundamentally one-sided relationship, a relationship where your feelings and your time are deemed less important than the other person's fleeting whims and desires. Why does it hurt so deeply when someone you value treats you like an afterthought, a secondary option, or an inconvenience. Because respect is the bedrock of any genuine connection, the essential foundation upon which trust, empathy, and mutual appreciation are built. It's not just about being polite or adhering to social conventions. It's about seeing and treating others as equals, acknowledging their inherent worth, and honoring their time and their feelings. When someone consistently places their needs above yours, disregards your boundaries, and dismisses your opinions, it's not just a sign of disrespect. It's a clear indication that you're entangled in a relationship with someone who considers you an option, not a priority, someone who prioritizes their own desires and convenience over your well-being and your emotional needs. However, it's important to maintain a sense of perspective and recognize that we are all human, prone to making mistakes, experiencing lapses in judgment, and occasionally falling short of our own ideals. Sometimes, we are late due to unforeseen circumstances, forget plans due to overwhelming schedules, or become a little self-centered on a particularly bad day. The crucial difference in a healthy, respectful relationship is that these are exceptional events, not the norm, deviations from the established pattern of mutual care and consideration. There is a genuine effort made to apologize sincerely, to make amends for the transgression, and to demonstrate a genuine attempt to do better next time, reinforcing the underlying respect and value that characterize the connection. In contrast, a person who consistently acts inconsiderate towards you, repeatedly disrespecting your time, your feelings, and your boundaries, is not simply having a bad day. They are revealing a deeply ingrained pattern of indifference, a lack of genuine care for your well-being, and a fundamental disregard for your value as an individual. So, what do you do when you're faced with this persistent disrespect, this insidious erosion of your self-worth? It's about more than simply identifying the problem or cataloging the instances of mistreatment. It's about valuing yourself enough to demand better, to assert your boundaries, and to refuse to accept less than you deserve. It's about realizing that relationships should lift you up, not bring you down, that they should be a source of strength and joy, not stress and anxiety. It's about understanding that you have the power, the right, and the responsibility to walk away from those who don't value you, who don't respect you, and who consistently drain your energy without offering anything meaningful in return. As we navigate the intricate complexities of human interactions, remember that it is not only about being acutely aware of how others treat us, but also about recognizing our own inherent value, cultivating unwavering self-respect, and refusing to settle for relationships that fall short of the standards we deserve. Relationships should be a source of strength, not a source of stress. They must be based on mutual respect and understanding, not unilateral efforts and perpetual sacrifices. So, ask yourself honestly, are you being respected in this relationship, or are you being consistently taken for granted? The answer to this fundamental question could hold the key to unlocking healthier, more satisfying relationships, relationships that nourish your soul, uplift your spirit, and empower you to thrive. The fourth sign, revealing a superficial bond, is that nagging feeling when you're engaging in conversation with someone, and everything seems to be confined to a superficial level, hovering on the surface without ever delving into anything deeper or more meaningful. It's like walking on thin ice, where beneath the light chatter and forced laughter, there's a hollow space, an emptiness devoid of genuine connection and authentic engagement. It's a shadow dance, where the steps are familiar and rehearsed, but the rhythm never changes, never evolves, never transcends the mundane. Let's paint a vivid picture. You meet someone, and the initial conversation flows easily enough, bouncing from topic to topic, but everything revolves around trivial matters. The weather, the latest movies, or what's for dinner. Weeks turn into months, and you find yourself repeating the same well-worn script, engaging in the same superficial exchanges, without ever truly getting to know the person beneath the surface. You don't know their fears, their dreams, their aspirations, or what keeps them up at night, the things that truly define who they are. It's like a play where the actors never break character, never reveal their true selves, never venture beyond the confines of the predetermined script. Why does this happen? It's often a defense mechanism, a carefully constructed mask that keeps your true self, your vulnerabilities, and your authentic emotions safely out of reach, preventing any genuine connection from forming. And you're left wandering aimlessly on the surface, scratching at the veneer, but never truly getting to the bottom, never penetrating the carefully constructed facade. It's frustrating, isn't it? You are devoting your precious time and valuable energy to this interaction. But what shadow of a relationship is this, if it lacks substance, depth, and genuine connection? It's not just about feeling alone in a crowd. It's about recognizing when a relationship is perpetually stuck on the surface, unable to evolve beyond the superficial. The crucial question that inevitably arises is, am I investing my time and energy in a mirage, a fleeting illusion of connection? Is this all there is to this relationship, or is there potential for something more profound? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Once you truly see it, once you recognize the superficiality of the bond, you can't unsee it. Realizing the lack of depth is a wake-up call, a moment of clarity that forces you to confront the reality of the situation. It's time to ask yourself the hard questions. Are you genuinely happy with this superficial connection, content to remain on the surface? Or do you long to dive into the depths, to explore the complexities of another person's inner world? Are you willing to settle for less than what you deserve, accepting a shallow imitation of genuine connection instead of seeking a relationship that nourishes your soul and enriches your life? Superficial links inevitably point to a crossroads, a moment of decision where you must choose between two distinct paths. One path leads to more of the same, a continuation of the superficial exchanges, the shallow conversations, and the persistent feeling of disconnect. The other path leads to the unknown, to the potential for something more authentic, more meaningful, and more fulfilling, where real connections may be waiting to be discovered. Making that choice, stepping onto the path of authenticity, is bold, requiring courage to step away from the familiar, the comfortable, and the predictable, and to seek something more genuinely fulfilling, even if it means venturing into uncharted territory. Think about it. Isn't that what we all long for, deep down? To be truly understood, to be seen for who we are, flaws and all, and to share our inner world with someone who cares deeply about our well-being? It's not just about finding someone to talk to, someone to fill the silence. It's about finding someone to connect with on a profound level, a level that transcends the mundane, the superficial, and the transactional, a level that fosters genuine intimacy and unwavering support. When you begin to actively seek deeper connections, you open yourself up to the possibility of something richer, more satisfying, and more authentically fulfilling than you ever imagined. Of course, this pursuit is not without its risks. It's scary to be vulnerable, to open yourself up to the possibility of rejection, to risk revealing your true self and not being reciprocated in the same way. But isn't that risk ultimately worth taking if it leads you to a place where you can share your hopes, your fears, your dreams, and your vulnerabilities with someone who truly cares, someone who sees you, values you, and cherishes you for the authentic person you are? The fifth sign of an exploitative friendship, a lack of support in crucial moments, leads us to reflect deep on the true nature of the bonds we share with others, prompting us to evaluate the quality of our connections beyond the surface level of casual interactions and fleeting moments of shared enjoyment. What comes to mind first when you think of your closest friends? Is it the moments of laughter shared over a cup of coffee, the comforting silence during a long road trip, or the shared excitement of a memorable event? While these lighthearted moments undoubtedly contribute to the fabric of friendship, we often mistakenly measure the strength and depth of our connections solely through these light and easy interactions, overlooking the true test of a relationship, how it weathers the storms of life. But what happens when life takes an unexpected turn, when circumstances become difficult, when you're facing a personal crisis, grappling with a significant challenge, or simply in need of a supportive shoulder to lean on? In those moments, do the people you consider close, the individuals you have invested your time, energy, and emotions in, truly support you, offering empathy, understanding, and practical assistance? Or do they disappear like shadows at noon, fading into the background when you need them most, leaving you feeling abandoned, alone, and utterly unsupported? Now, let's imagine a scenario. You're facing a personal crisis, a significant challenge that is consuming your thoughts, draining your energy, and testing your emotional resilience. You're looking for support, craving the understanding of a trusted friend, reaching out for a shoulder to lean on, a sympathetic ear to listen to your woes, and perhaps some practical advice to help you navigate the situation. However, what you find instead is an empty space, a void where you were expecting to find a friend or colleague willing to listen, to offer encouragement, and to provide the support you desperately need. The words are spoken, but they feel hollow, resonating with a distinct lack of genuine concern, as if your struggles are an inconvenient interruption in their lives, a burden they are unwilling to bear. In these unguarded moments, when the veneer of superficiality is stripped away, the true nature of the relationship is inevitably revealed. Isn't it amazing, and often heartbreaking, how absence can speak louder than any words? How the silence in response to your cries for help can convey a more profound message of indifference than any harsh words ever could. That deafening silence, that gaping void where there should be support, empathy, and understanding, tells a story of indifference, a lack of genuine connection, and a disregard for your well-being that is far more penetrating than any unkind words or dismissive gestures. Although acknowledging this painful truth may be difficult, forcing you to confront the reality of a one-sided relationship, it ultimately opens your eyes, empowering you to seek out and cultivate truly reciprocal bonds, connections based on mutual care, unwavering support, and genuine empathy. It drives you to value yourself enough to demand relationships where emotional support and presence are not only expected but freely and lovingly given, where you can rely on your friends to be there for you, not just in the good times, but also, and perhaps more importantly, in the bad times. As you navigate the complexities of human connections, ask yourself the crucial question: who is really there for me when the going gets tough? Who shows up, not only in spirit, but also in action and empathy, offering practical assistance, a listening ear, and unwavering support during times of crisis? These are the relationships worth cherishing, the connections that will weather the storms of life by your side, the friendships that will enrich your life and empower you to overcome any obstacle. Remember that it's not about finding people who will never let you down, who will never disappoint you, or who will always have the perfect solution to your problems. It's about finding those who, when you fall, will be there to help you get up, who will offer a hand, a word of encouragement, and unwavering support as you navigate the challenges of life. If you've made it this far, diligently reflecting on the dynamics of your relationships and seeking genuine connection, you are among the few who are truly committed to continued personal growth and fostering authentic bonds. Let's continue our exploration of exploitative friendships, delving into the sixth telltale sign: feeling used as a means to an end. This sign goes beyond simply lending a hand or providing mutual support, activities that are inherent in any healthy relationship. In this case, the sensation is far more insidious, akin to being perceived as a mere tool in someone else's kit, used only when it is convenient and discarded without a second thought when it is no longer needed. It's a situation where you find yourself consistently being the first person called when someone needs help, advice, a favor, or a listening ear. However, when circumstances change and you're the one who needs support, you are met with a deafening silence, a blatant disregard for your own needs, and a sense that your well-being is simply not a priority. You begin to wonder if you are valued for who you are, for your inherent qualities and your unique personality, or simply for what you can offer, for your ability to solve problems, provide assistance, or offer emotional support. This lingering realization breeds a complex mix of disappointment, resentment, and anger, often accompanied by a touch of betrayal, a sense that you have been manipulated and taken advantage of by someone you considered a friend. You remember countless times when you went out of your way to help, to be present, and to offer unwavering support, often at your own expense. But in your moments of need, reciprocity was conspicuous by its absence, leaving you feeling used, devalued, and ultimately alone. The absence of this mutual care, this reciprocal respect, clearly indicates a one-sided relationship, where you are perceived more as a resource to be exploited than as a valued partner to be cherished. Facing this harsh truth is undoubtedly a difficult and often painful process, but it is essential to step back to gain perspective and to look at the relationship through a new, more discerning lens, questioning its depth, its sincerity, and its underlying motivations. This step, although painful, is crucial for your emotional healing, allowing you to break free from the cycle of exploitation and to begin cultivating relationships that are truly loving, reciprocal, and mutually beneficial. The seventh and final warning sign reveals a lack of detailed personal interest in your life, a consistent pattern of disengagement that highlights the absence of genuine care and empathy. In a healthy, reciprocal relationship, when you share your experiences, your thoughts, and your feelings with someone who truly cares about you, it is reflected in their enlightened eyes, their attentive posture, and their willingness to accompany you through your stories, both the triumphs and the tribulations. This type of authentic connection feels like a two-way street, where both parties are actively involved in each other's lives, demonstrating a genuine curiosity about each other's well-being and offering unwavering support, understanding, and encouragement. However, sometimes you come across someone who seems consistently less interested in your well-being, your thoughts, or your experiences. Their interactions constantly revolve around their own problems, their own triumphs, and their own needs, making you feel more like a mirror reflecting their own brilliance than a friend with whom they share a mutual connection. This scenario is unfortunately common, a reflection of a society often characterized by self-absorption and a lack of genuine empathy, where you are perceived more as a convenience, an audience, or a source of validation than as a confidant, a trusted friend, or a valued individual. Your stories, your struggles, and your successes seem to be of little consequence unless they have a direct benefit to them, unless they can somehow enhance their own image, further their own goals, or provide them with some form of personal gratification. Realizing that you could simply be a character in the background of their lives, a supporting player in their personal drama, rather than a co-protagonist in a shared story, is a difficult truth to accept, one that can leave you feeling insignificant, overlooked, and utterly unvalued. The lack of genuine interest and empathy in a relationship acts as a silent alarm, a subtle but persistent signal that prompts you to closely examine your connections and evaluate whether you are truly valued for who you are, for your inherent qualities, and for the unique perspective you bring to the table. This recognition can trigger a mix of powerful emotions, from anger and resentment to sadness and disappointment. But the upside is that identifying these red flags is the first step towards building healthier, more satisfying relationships based on mutual respect, genuine interest, and unwavering care. The search shifts from seeking validation in superficial connections to finding people who celebrate your presence, appreciate your unique perspective, and value you for who you are beyond what you can offer them. Ultimately, it's about understanding your own inherent value, cultivating unwavering self-worth, and making sure that those around you see and appreciate your true worth, recognizing the unique gifts you bring to the world, and treating you with the respect and kindness you deserve. You shouldn't settle for simply being a spectator in someone else's life, a supporting character in their personal narrative. You deserve relationships based on mutual respect, genuine interest, and unwavering care, relationships that uplift, support, and empower you to thrive. Have you ever felt that your relationship breaks with the conventions of a healthy bond, and what to do to change it? Expressing your boundaries is a clear sign if they are repeatedly crossed or overlooked that the scales of your relationship are unbalanced. Defining what is acceptable to you not only involves setting limits for others, but is a confronting act of self-love, although this process is not easy, especially when emotions cloud your judgment in a relationship that feels more draining than satisfying. It is essential the way to express your feelings without generating conflict is like a delicate dance. Honesty without direct accusations, communicating how you feel instead of assigning blame. Sometimes this openness can change the course of the conversation and offer an opportunity for change. But what happens if things don't change? Seeking support becomes your lifeline. It's not just about letting off steam, it's about gaining perspective. Friends, family, or therapists can be mirrors that reflect realities that you might be overlooking. They remind you that your value is not defined by how others treat you. It is inherent and shines even in relationships that do not recognize it. Ultimately, it is about understanding that you deserve a relationship that is not only about receiving, but also about giving, seeking a balance of love, respect, and mutual growth. Embarking on a journey to truly understand and navigate the intricate world of human relationships is challenging and rewarding. The fundamental truth is that you are worthy of relationships filled with mutual respect. If these words resonate with you, I cordially invite you to join our Stoic community by subscribing, turning on notifications, and leaving a like. Together, we will explore the world of Stoicism. We will demystify patterns that govern our interactions, and your participation will be vital in this continuous search for knowledge and personal improvement. Remember that the foundation of satisfying and healthy relationships lies in mutual respect and self-awareness. By recognizing and acting on these principles, we can cultivate connections that enrich ourselves and those around us. To summarize, recognizing the signs of an exploitative friendship is crucial for protecting your emotional well-being and fostering authentic connections. These signs include persistent guilt and manipulation, selective availability, persistent disrespect, superficial conversations, lack of support in crucial moments, feeling used as a means to an end, and a lack of personal interest. If you recognize these patterns in your relationships, it's essential to assert your boundaries, communicate your feelings honestly, seek support from trusted sources, and prioritize your own well-being. Remember, you deserve relationships based on mutual respect, genuine interest, and unwavering care. By recognizing and acting on these principles, you can cultivate connections that enrich yourself and those around you.